address the general unrest over the travel ban, the weekend chaos for travelers, the protests at the airports, the imam who voted for President Trump calling for calm and patience.
There is a confusion and there is a mix-up. They have to distinguish between good refugees and bad refugees. And if this is what it takes to stop them for a while, to screen them, that's fine. This is for the security of the country.
All right, that made me, when I heard that...
That's
Tim,
fake news. That's
that made me feel so much better, because even I get jaded, right? You know me. I'm scared to death that the jihad, whether it's soft jihad or violent extremist jihad, is coming to our country and is going to end up in the long run really taking away the Western values and American values that you and I uphold. But when I hear that come from an imam, it really is heartening for me that there is some moderate Muslims.
Yes, I mean, there certainly are. I think with any religion, we see those radical fringes and the more moderate as well, and same with that. And I think the Imam spoke absolutely accurately that we need to get to a point where we can select out the bad actors from the good actors. And when we get to that, we will satisfy the American public, and Americans will open their arms as they always have to meet needs. Now, with refugees, and Syria being one of the worst places going on right now, and again, because our president, Barack Obama, drew a red line in the sand and let it wash away and evaporate, and allowed that to escalate into an untenable situation where Christians and non-Muslims are being martyred in a genocide that's going on there and continues to go on. There ought to be places in the region where there are refugee camps where these Syrians and others can go to. And I don't think Americans feel any qualms about letting some of our resource for refugee care go to those camps. But until we have a vetting system in place to bring them in the country, you're accurate, Gary. I mean, we go through every single time we fly stuff that we never had to think about before 9/11, and it holds us up. They check our bags. We can only take certain things. Why is that happening? Because of terrorists. Not because of good people, but because of terrorists. Not because of good Muslims, but because of radical jihadist Muslims. And so we have to get our heads straight. And the media is not helping us because, again, their whining continues because they just don't like the outcome of the election where they were blindsided. But the American people stood up and did what they wanted this time. And so get used to it. Let's move forward together if we can, and I think we'll see some great things happen.
Yeah, awesome. I hope so, too. I hope that the Republicans have the guts to stick by President Trump on this one and let this continue out. And let's, if nothing else, even if all these refugees were top-notch, safe people, I still worry that we're bringing in more people than we have the ability to accommodate. We've already got, still 94 million people not in the workforce. And, even if 30 million of those are retired, that still leaves you 60 million looking for work. So I would prefer to see the limits on immigration across the board, not just from Muslims by any stretch of the imagination.
Yep. Well, we're going to see an economy grow here. I think already with just a shot in the arm of hope that came from electing this president and a majority Congress that will work together with him. I think we've seen the most recent economic report that came out yesterday said that January was a real shot in the arm. Now some of the media are saying that's a holdover from the past president. Well, so what? I think people are feeling better. They're starting to reach out. They're starting to expand jobs, and the media says, well, yeah, jobs are expanding, but the income isn't expanding. Well, hey, let's expand the jobs first and get it going, and I think you'll see incomes expand from that also. But we've gone through 8 years of a presidency that didn't understand the free market capitalist system as being the most compassionate, but also most successful economic system the world has ever known.
Yeah.
Let's get back to that, and I think we'll see things happen. Develop our educational system, prepare people for the workforce jobs that are there, tell people that smart people go to vocational training as well as the four-year institutions, find your sweet spot, be trained in that area, and then participate in the American dream.
Well, I like the late election results that came out this past week. You know, the late election results are in. The economy's going up, and Neil Gorsuch has been nominated for SCOTUS. You know, those are election results.
Yeah, any people, especially some of us conservatives and evangelicals that initially looked at Donald Trump, said, "How can we vote for him?" And I heard that statement all the time.
All the time. That was me.
And I had to go back and say, hey, if you can't look at the person, look at what will take place in nominating a Supreme Court justice. Wow. This week we saw that result. And Gorsuch is a super, so far, at least what I've seen, what I've read of his decisions, what he's been involved with. This guy is a stellar nominee. And it appears that at least seven Democrats feel somewhat similar in that they've said they will not support a filibuster.
Good. Gorsuch is. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
On Gorsuch, yeah.
Gorsuch is the epitome of proof is in the pudding. You know, it's. I've seen a lot of people come over who are still skeptical of Trump, and the Gorsuch thing sealed the deal for them.
Good. Hey, Tim, let me ask you about a funding issue now. So we've heard President Trump talk about defunding sanctuary cities, and I'm looking at a report in front of me that says 1 in 5 city residents in Los Angeles alone, that's 20%, are illegal immigrants. Is Congress going to take up anything to help support this maybe the ending of funding for sanctuary cities?
Well, we've already done that. We did that last term, and the bill is already in the hopper to do it again. So we're on track with the president through the legislative process to do that. That, of course, will have to culminate in the appropriations bills that will define how many dollars don't go to these cities. But I think the cities that are thumbing their nose, and some have already backed down, but others are thumbing their nose at it, they'd better get ready. Their people are going to be asking them why there aren't dollars for specific services that they expect. And if they're honest, they're going to have to tell the people, well, we're a sanctuary city. We thought that was more important than abiding by the law. And we never expected the federal government to push back against us to the point of saying, sorry, you made your choice. You're going to have dollars removed from the federal coffers that generally would go to you.
Yeah, and I think that's right here. Yeah, that's right here in Washtenaw County. I think we're kind of a sanctuary county, and Ann Arbor, of course, is a sanctuary city, and of course, U of M is a sanctuary campus. It's the lawlessness is. Then we wonder why we've got kids on college campuses wearing the masks. And that's one that bothers me. Tim, shouldn't there be a law against wearing a mask?
I believe there is.
If we're going to ban a burqa like some countries do. We're out of time already. But, Tim, I want to thank you so much for doing everything that you've done, because you've been a real stellar guy, and I want people to know that you're one of the good guys out there.
Well, thank you. And I just want to remind people we are going to repeal and replace Obamacare and repair the health care system. Woo-hoo. and do it in a transition that doesn't throw people off.
Awesome.
Don't believe the lies that are coming out of the media.
Okay. Well, thank you, Tim. We'll get you again next month, and I appreciate all that you're doing for us.
Have a great month.
You too. And everyone else, go to thedailydrift.com, get the news you need to know, and we'll see you next week.